Okay, we're back with Bill Gallagher, and Bill is the founder of TeamWorks, and he's also a family counselor out at the Trail Christian Fellowship, but he works a lot with organizations and corporations and professional organizations and helping to make sure that the team is working as a team. And if you need that kind of help or consulting and assistance, this is what he does. And you can go to TeamWorks, one word, TeamWorks, and then -works.com and check out his website. I want to talk today, Bill, about maintaining professionalism and what that means to you as somebody that goes into an organization. And then the other thing is handling gossip within the workplace. I mean, those are two big things. But what is it to you as a consultant going into companies? How would you describe professionalism?
Well, the best way I think to describe a professional is to probably know what is not a professional. First of all, a lot of people think that you're professional if you dress like a professional, so it's based on a dress code. Or if you have degrees or certifications or even years experience. I think professionalism has more to do with integrity and character than it does degrees and style, first of all.
Okay.
So, you know, we're kind of talking about gossip too. Professionals don't gossip. Now, everybody does, at one degree or another. Gossip simply suggests you're talking about someone else without them being present, and it can be potentially destructive, or at least cast a shadow on their character. I don't know anybody that doesn't do that sometimes, but we're talking about chronic gossip when we talk about gossip. It's very, very destructive in the workplace. It's not professional, ever.
I want to get into this subject of gossip because I don't know where the line is. I mean, I kind of do, but maybe I don't. And I've worked in situations in the past where you have one person who is constantly on an agenda and working people and things. And at the end of the day, when you pull all that back, it's to advance that person.
Yes.
And then you have somebody that may be a real stickler on the team, and somebody comes to you and says, hey, I got a problem with so-and-so, and they tell you. Now, if an employee came to you as a boss and complained about another employee, is that gossip?
Well, it depends what the motivation is.
Okay.
Because there's a huge difference between gossip and venting.
Okay.
Gossip is completely destructive, and someone that gossips just simply dumps information. Now, let me just say this too. A lot of people think that gossip information is not true. Sometimes the information people are gossiping about is very true.
Right.
Rumor is different, but gossip can be very, very true. The point is, what's the motivation? It's completely destructive, and they're not open for solutions. So if someone is just going to their boss to simply dump about what that person said or did, even in their personal life, that's pure gossip. However, venting is motivated totally different. If someone goes to their boss to talk about a complication they're having with a coworker, maybe they got in a disagreement in a lunchroom or something like that, but they're looking for solutions to the problem, and they're open to the boss's direction on how to resolve the issue, that is not gossip. That's called venting and restorative, basically, looking for a solution. So gossip does not seek solutions, venting does.
Okay, because somewhere in the middle of this, all bosses have to have a PhD in psychology, don't they?
If they don't, they should. Or they'll learn it one way or the other.
Because all of a sudden the employee will come, it's not gossip, it may be venting, but they were offended by another employee. At that moment, you have to decide, is this really an offense or is this an opportunity to complain?
Exactly. And what I like to say to bosses and managers who might have enabling tendencies, like resolving the issue for them because they're like parents, management's like parenting in many, many ways. I say that's not the healthiest thing to do. First of all, you need to say, have you talked with this individual about this? And if they say, well, no, because you know how they are, then I would direct them back, maybe give them some ideas on how to approach it, what to say, right back to that individual and talk to them about their concerns. Then I would say, now if you do this and you go back, I want to meet with you again to see how that discussion went. and that person blew you off or shut you down, then I'm sitting down with both of you. But I guess what I'm saying is enabling simply means is doing the work for someone else that they should be doing on their own.
Can gossip get out of hand?
Totally. It's public enemy number one in corporate America.
So how do you know if it's out of hand?
People start shutting down. They won't open up. They become siloed. We say the word siloed. They keep to themselves. Retention of employees starts to wane. People start looking for work elsewhere. They start taking all of their sick days. They don't wake up with energy to go to work anymore. They're always looking over their shoulder, can't trust. I mean, it's very destructive.
Does management deal with gossip openly as a threat, or do you try to pinpoint it and deal with it individually?
Well, I think the best way to deal with it is once you find out that there is someone that is a chronic gossiper in bringing real toxic fumes into the culture, that the boss goes to them individually and says, I'm starting to get some feedback. I'd like to know more about this. We are aware of this. Then I do a workshop on not maintaining gossip, but eradicating it. There are a couple of larger companies in America that actually have a no tolerance ban on gossip. And everybody from administration down understand there's a no tolerance clause and a ban on gossip. People will not stay employed there if it is chronic and it continues.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why it occurs?
Yeah, I think a lot of it can occur because of poor communication channels from the top down. If administration is not clear on the information that they give to their staff regarding maybe a pending change. Maybe they're going to get a new computer system. Maybe someone had to be terminated. Of course, there's some liability issues. But if management can't give as much information that is liably accurate to their staff about what's going on, then the staff is left to figure it out on their own, and they come up with their own story. And so what I tell management is tell your story, because if you didn't tell your story to your staff, they're going to come up with their own, and you're not going to like the story they tell.
Yeah.
So one of the causes is poor communication channels from the top down. Another cause is there's someone in the ranks that is very, very insecure. By the way, the root of gossip is insecurity.
Right.
Putting someone down to make you look like you're in a better light seems to be the root of gossip, okay? Another cause is allowing problematic behavior and gossipers to continue without any kind of accountability.
So, is there some don'ts in managing gossip?
Yeah, I think
You
that...
don't want to deal with it openly and publicly, do you?
No, I think it needs to be dealt with individually,
Yeah.
first of all, so don't make it a public issue. It's one thing that I suggest to managers all the time. If you have an individual concern, and let's say this manager's kind of passive and hates conflict, and you have an individual concern, don't use the comfort of the other bodies in the staff room to air those concerns then. Let's say, for example, you have a new cell phone policy. You can only use it at break time. Now, let's say there's 30 people in this company. You have a new cell phone policy. And 28 of the people are honoring the new guidelines. But you know that there's 2 that have blown off management's leadership and direction. And so, rather going to those 2 people, which are kind of bully types, rather than go to those 2 people, now we're going to either have a email blast that reminds the whole organization about the cell phone policy, or we bring it up in a staff meeting. You know what the problem is with that? The other 28 know the 2 that are doing it, and they lose respect in management. Just go talk to the 2 that need to hear it.
Wow. Okay.
Different subject. Let's move on.
No, it's just, you're in business for other reasons, and all of a sudden now you got to be a psychiatrist.
Oh, man, I tell you what.
So what happens when a company brings somebody like you in, and the employee knows you're there for some kind of management or communication or team building? Does it set a chill over the place?
Oh, I think it's yes and no. I think some staff members and employees actually are relieved that management is finally doing something and listening.
Yeah.
So there's a sense of relief. But then for others who have had past trainings and there was never any change, they're going, oh, here's another consultant, another training. We've been through this. Nothing's going to change anyway. So there's almost a sense of exhaustion before I even get there. So I see both.
Well, I can tell you this, more and more people are turning to TeamWorks for help. And I will say this, that I know that your goal is to bring unity and team coherence to the team.
Yes, absolutely.
That's your goal. And so if you're running a company, big, small, or indifferent, or even a ministry, I know you've done this for churches.
Yeah, churches, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Go to TeamWorks, that's one word, TeamWorks, and then -works.com. TeamWorks, then -works.com. That's Bill's website. You can give him a call at 541-621-5402. And if gossip is something in your workplace that you're kind of struggling with, I would suggest you give him a call, go to coffee with him, lay it out, come up with a plan, deal with it.
One more thought. I have time for that?
Sure.
I like to share with people when they're up against someone, let's say they work in 2 cubicles and there's a gossiper next to them, very vocal. And they're kind of passive. They don't know what to do. First of all, I think, by the way, silence when someone's gossiping is a subtle form of participation.
Oh, thanks a lot.
So, so what I suggest is that people actually come up with a script of what to say. Something like, you know, I'm no longer comfortable where this conversation's going. Have you talked to the individual yet? Does management know about this? Or, you know, we just had training about gossip. We're really trying to build a culture of unity. We probably shouldn't go there. Some kind of script, because gossipers do not like to continue if they don't get buy-in.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you said all day.
Well, thank you very much.
There you go. Thanks.
One a day, Perry.
Thanks for being with us. Again, TeamWorks, one word, -works.com. Thanks, Bill.